From the Crush Studio in sunny Florida, this is the Disney Crush Podcast. And now your two tempests in a teacup, Dave and Toni-Ann.
On this week's The Disney Crush Podcast, we lost our kids at the parks. Episode 302 of the Disney Crush Podcast starts right now. David?
Hey, Toni-Ann.
Are you there?
I am here. You didn't lose me. I'm here.
I was trying to lose you.
I know, but you know, I saw you, so I came running back. Yeah.
How you been?
Good.
I haven't seen you since the last time I saw you. I was feeling a little happy.
Yeah, you were celebrating, and that was okay.
Yeah. Well, I went back to brass tacks this week and still, trying to stay on my program and eat right and exercise. So.
That's cool. No, action beats inaction. So just keep it up.
You go.
Whatever you do, just action beats inaction.
Okay.
Yeah. Go for it. I think after a certain time, I forget how many days they say it takes, but I think you're past that time. It becomes
something to become a habit.
It becomes a habit, and and if you don't do it, like me, I start to feel guilty if I miss a day working out. Like I missed today, and I'm feeling guilty. I'm like, oh, but I didn't really miss today. If you think about it, because I got up really early in the morning, and I went out to a wildlife management area, a public area, and hiked around, and it was pretty. It was pretty strenuous in the heat. Did that for about I hiked around for about a good 2 hours back in the woods. Yeah. So I consider that kind of a workout, right? I can
absolutely.
Okay. See, now I'm not feeling as guilty anymore. Okay.
There you go.
And I didn't get lost. I have a tracker. I have GPS, so I can't get lost.
So I told some of my friends, and I know I told you, so I did the 75 hard, and I completed it on Friday. So Saturday was day 76. And when I started 80 days ago, whatever it is now, I told myself, I'm going to have it. I'm going to have a treat. I'm going to take a rest day on day 7. I'm not going to work out. I'm going to have a drink, which I did have a drink, and I'm going to have, like a cheat meal per se. It got to be Saturday, and I was crawling out of my skin. I had to go move. I had to move my body. I could not just sit on the couch like I had planned. I had to go do something. Yeah. Good. So I wound up getting my swim in, my 45 minutes of swimming. Mm-hmm. But, and then Saturday went to dinner and everybody made fun. Well, not everybody, but certain people at the table made fun of me because I had a salad because nothing else looked good on that menu. Yeah. It was not
I know.
It was not a great menu.
It's hard.
We went to hear music and then the band canceled.
I know. Great. Well, we walked across the street and they had a band. We caught the last minutes of them.
The last 3 songs.
Yeah. That's okay. We had a good time celebrating.
Yeah. No, we did have a good time though.
Yeah.
So anyway, but it's weird that if I don't exercise, I feel like pent up energy. So
yeah, it's much easier to stop working out than to continue working out. You'll find once you get in a habit of, I'll take a rest day, and then 2 days, and then 3 days, and then 4 days, and then you know what I mean. It just
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's a lot easier, but yeah, good for you.
All right,
what's up? We're going to talk about lost kids, and we got some friends coming on.
I hope so. I don't see them yet.
Have done just that. Have lost their children at Disney.
I've lost one of my kids at Disney. So I'm going to tell you my story too. Some of you know it, but
I've never lost my kids at Disney. I've tried losing them, but they keep finding me. They keep finding me back, finding their way back to old dad.
There was just an announcement that starting September 22nd, there's going to be a new light show on Spaceship Earth to celebrate Disney's 100th anniversary. It's nice. It's September, so they're going to start celebrating the 100th anniversary at Disney at the end of the year.
Well, better late than never.
But I guess so. So that'll be at Epcot. There's other things coming September 22nd too. And I have a feeling that Moana is going to open by then, if not then.
Yeah, I'm not getting excited.
The World of Water, because they're already doing cast member previews and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not getting my hopes up. I don't think it's going to be anything. I think it's just going to be, I don't know. Yeah, I guess we'll wait and see.
That's really it. There was nothing really major this week.
All I can say is, hey better be in there somewhere.
I'm sure he will.
He better be represented somewhere in that whatever it is.
Yeah. That's about it, Dave.
Well, Halloween is right around the corner, according to Disney.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Halloween party starts this week.
I know. Can you believe it?
Actually, by the time this podcast comes out,
yeah,
the first couple parties will have happened.
Yeah, that's crazy. Halloween. I mean, oh, geez. It's just too hot.
It is hot down here to be thinking about trick-or-treating, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Being one of the resort pools.
What? Well, the resort, I saw a thing on Facebook. Well, I don't know. I mean, Dave, if you want to do your intro, I could tell you what I saw on Facebook.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You brought it up, hot pools.
On this week's The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly of Facebook. Bing.
So this person's getting burned in some Disney groups because they complained, "Hi, everyone. I just want to drop a note about the pools at Yacht Club. This is not meant to be negative, just informative. It's a beautiful resort with great proximity to Epcot. I was disappointed in the water temperature. It was so hot and not refreshing at all. The front desk told us that it's kept at 72. It's not kept at 72. But the lifeguard told me it's 92. And I chose this hotel due to its pool complex. I paid quite a bit for this hotel because my family wanted to be able to enjoy the pool when not in the park. But it was too hot to enjoy." So here's the thing about Disney pools. They are hot in the summer. And this person's getting eaten alive in the comments because, oh, it's Florida. It's hot. You can, Disney can make the pools cooler. And I know exactly what this person is saying because we went to Fort Wilderness one year for our summer vacation. We didn't go to the parks. We just hung out at Fort Wilderness. And the pool was like, it was a hot day and you wanted to refresh yourself in the pool and you got in the pool and it was like bath water. It just was not refreshing. It was like, ugh. It felt gross, actually. So, but the thing is, like, my husband, he cools our pool overnight. He runs fountains to like get the cooler air to hit the water and to circulate the water in the outside. And it cools our pool off. And I'm sure that if we could do that on our dinky pool, Disney can do things to cool their pools so that they're not that gross summer. I know exactly what this person's talking about.
Yeah.
And I get it that she spent a lot of money to go to stay at Yacht and Beach, and to not enjoy the pool is kind of a downer. So
yeah, your pool has a lot of shade though. So your pool probably stays.
No, but my other pool, he used to do it with the other pools too.
Yeah.
When we had the above ground pool even.
Yeah, it's hard to cool a pool off. They do make coolers for pools. So, and if Disney does have them, then maybe it was broke or something, and they just couldn't use it. I don't know if they do have them.
I've had the same problem. I've had the same problem at Disney pools, where they were just not refreshing at all. Yeah. Now, you and I went to the Dolphin that time in October, and that pool was freezing. Even I couldn't tolerate it, and I have a pretty high threshold for cold pools.
Yeah. It was nice. It was okay.
Yeah, that was too cold for me. So I don't know. And the other thing is, you were talking about Halloween, and our friend Samantha Kuhn, who likes to be mentioned. There's some other guy that likes to be mentioned too, but I forget his name. Anyway, she just sent me a thing. Do you know those when people go in the pool? Like you'll see the older ladies and they have the humorous t-shirts with the bikini bodies on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this woman wants to know, our family is planning on being Star Wars characters for vacation. And I was thinking about being Princess Leia and wearing a bikini body t-shirt with buns in my hair. Do you think that would be okay? Yeah, it would be okay. You would not get dress coded for that. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, go for it.
One of those bikini shirts with Leia buns. I don't know. That's all I got, Dave. Facebook is really not very fruitful this week.
Okay, well, I'm ready to talk to some people.
Okay. So, David, we have two special guests on to talk about being wonderful. They're both wonderful mothers. They are both wonderful, wonderful mothers. And they are here to talk to us about losing children at the parks. We have Amanda Lamb and Torie Hunt.
Hello.
Dave, have you lost your kids at the parks?
I haven't lost them at the parks. I mean, for just a second, but quickly I found them and was not that happy that I found them. But I was like, okay, if I have to keep you, I guess you can keep coming with me today.
You have to keep feeding them.
But I will say that it only takes a second. I have lost one of my daughters when we were shopping in a mall, and it was her fault. She was playing games, but she slipped in between the clothes rack. Yeah. And I turned around and she was gone. And I'm like, now, if you're a parent, you know what I'm talking about when you get that feeling. Some say it's down in the gut. It's that just terrible feeling like I've lost my kid or someone snatched my kid. And I'm frantic running around the place, can't find her. Finally, she jumps out, and I'm like, I'm going to kill you. I love you.
Exactly. I know exactly that feeling.
But it only takes a second. Only takes a second for them to do something like that. It's like a balloon. You hold a balloon, the ones you get at Disney, the $500 balloons, and then you accidentally just move your fingers and they're gone. That's how long it takes. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So should we let Amanda start with one story? Because apparently she has more than one.
Yeah, I think so. Because talking to her before the show. Can you
tell us about the first time you lost a child at the parks?
Yes. So the first time, it was actually the first Disney trip. And my oldest was 5 years old. And then I think Milo was 2 and Lawrence was 1. We were watching Frozen. So we were watching that, and my 2 younger kids, like I had one, my husband had the other. And so we kind of just expected that our 5-year-old would like stay with us. Like, you got to stay close. And he just followed the crowd out, continued following the crowd out. We knew like immediately that he wasn't, right there with us anymore. And I didn't panic initially because I knew that cast members are all great and that, I made a beeline toward a cast member and said, I can't find my kid. And a mom came up with Garrison. So she had found him and noticed he looked lost and walked him straight to the cast member that we were talking to. And at that point, I was like emotionally holding it together.
Right.
But I made that mom give me a hug and I sobbed into her shoulder because I was so scary.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe it would help my 5-year-old to like know that he had to stay close to us. Like, we almost lost you. You have to stay with us. And he was not fazed. He did not care.
Wow.
He immediately was like, all right, let's go to the next thing.
Oh gosh.
It was traumatic for me, but not for...
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know that feeling. I had, I've told the story before, but we have new listeners, so I can tell it again. We were in the whatever the jewelry store is, and this was years ago. Michael must have been like 5. I had 2 in a stroller. I had 2, and they were in the Disney strollers. And we were looking in the jewelry case, Rich and I, and we looked up and we saw Dominic, and Michael was gone. He was gone. And we went crazy, frantic, couldn't find him anywhere, calling him and crying. And he was across the street. And he was across the street. And he told us in his Michael way that he was waiting for the fireworks because he knew the fireworks were going to start soon because he'd been to Disney so many times that he knows the routine, and he was waiting for the fireworks. And I, like you, Dave, I wound up collapsing on the ground right there, holding him, crying, and cast member was like, "Ma'am, are you okay?" And I was like, "I am now." But, it's terrifying.
It's emotional.
For that minute.
A lot of emotions.
Mm-hmm. Torie, did you lose a child at the parks?
Well, I didn't lose as many as Amanda.
None of us have.
No. I've only lost one.
Which one did you lose, Torie?
We lost Seiji.
Uh-huh.
And it was at Disneyland.
Okay.
So I think he was probably 6.
Right.
5 or 6. And so Leilani and I were pulled into a restaurant, and Joe wanted to go get whatever he wanted to eat somewhere else. So Seiji was with him. And so they were walking along. I don't know if you're familiar with Disneyland, but it's just down there by Pirates and the river. Joe's walking thinking Seijie's right behind him. But Seiji apparently had gotten distracted and was looking off to the side as he was walking.
Uh-huh.
And so lost Joe.
Right.
Joe thought Seiji was behind him the whole time. So Leilani and I are back at the restaurant getting our food, and Joe calls me and he said, "Is Seiji with you?" And I said, "No, he's with you." And he said, "I can't find him."
Oh, no.
And so Leilani and I run out of the restaurant. So if Seiji was 6, then she must have been 7. And to know my daughter, well, to know me is to know my daughter.
Uh-huh.
And we're not calm under pressure. And Leilani's like flipping out. And I said, "Leilani, we are going to go over there." And I pointed over to a quiet spot, and we're going to say a prayer. We're going to be calm.
Right.
And so we go over. Joe had already found a security person.
Right.
Gave them all the information. And Leilani and I, we bow our heads and we say a prayer.
Uh-huh.
And we finish, and I'm literally thinking, I don't know if my marriage is going to survive.
Oh, gosh.
You're paralyzed, and you're going to all the places.
Right.
In panic. And we finished the prayer. I don't know if this is going to make people believe in God, but we finished the prayer, and she looks up and she goes, "Seiji!" and runs across. And he was actually walking with a security guard. The security person had seen him standing on the steps of the train station there in New Orleans. And he was looking around, scared and crying. And apparently they're so zeroed in and trained to look for that specific thing, like to look for panic.
The look.
Kiddos. Yeah.
The look of panic.
Yeah. And so it all worked out. But he still can't. He's 21 now, and he still can't talk about it.
Oh.
Still traumatized. So unlike Garrison,
Seiji was actually traumatized by it.
Right. And he is now, whenever we're in a crowd, no matter what, he's 21. He holds onto my shirt.
Oh.
He doesn't.
So can I ask you, did those experiences change anything for you? Did you take any different precautions, or did you teach your kids anything from the experience of almost losing them?
For me, it's just provided a whole lot of teasing.
Oh, okay.
And obviously Amanda Lamb didn't do anything because she lost a bunch more times.
That story, Amanda.
See, for me, it was a lesson learned, Amanda.
So I did tell my kids, I think before the trip, if you ever can't find us, find someone with a name tag on. So instead of learning how to prevent it, I taught them what to do when it
eventually happens again.
Yes. So the next time it was also with Harrison, and but this was when he would have been 9. So this was a recent trip, but we were on a big family trip. So my family of 5 and my sister's family of 5 were all together, and we were supposed to go separate ways. So 9 of them were supposed to go to the restaurant, and I was going to get a return time for gas, like back when you had to go.
Yeah.
And I'm weaving through the crowd.
Dave. That's
me.
Deirdre Watts calling.
Yeah,
it's Deirdre Watts calling.
Yeah, she tried calling me too.
Deirdre?
Toni-Ann?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Recording I'm recording a podcast.
Oh, is today Thursday?
Yes.
Oh, shoot. I lose track of time when I'm at my cabin,
Yeah, it must be nice to be in the woods.
I'm in the woods. Well, I'm sorry to call you when you're recording a podcast. I thought it was about your 300th, so I thought I should call.
No, that was 2 weeks ago, Deirdre. You were supposed to call really? 2 weeks ago. You're a little late.
I'm so out of the loop. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Well, Deirdre, I want to thank you for being one of our listeners for so long, and we're glad you're still around for 300 episodes.
Will you mention me on this week's podcast?
I think you just got a mention.
Oh, good. Good. Will you say that I'm Dave's favorite listener?
I'm pretty sure you are Dave's favorite listener.
Well, I just tried to call him and he didn't answer. So I was just in the mood. I was in the mood to talk to the crush.
Well, we're always in the mood to talk to you. So
I just randomly thought I'd give you a call.
Thank you, Deirdre.
Okay.
All right. Have a good night.
Get back to it.
Okay.
Love you.
I love you too.
Bye.
Bye. Hopefully that's it with those calls, Dave.
I don't
They're
know.
all done now.
It was Veronica last week.
So-
Now it's
So, Amanda, you were saying you had the party of 9, and then you were going to get the DAS.
Yes, and I was like cutting through, like just making, like going there as fast as I can. And I get to, I think it was Pirates to get the return time. And then I turn around and my son, Garrison, was like out of breath and he was like chasing me there. He's like, Mom, I lost you. I was trying to find you. I said, you were supposed to stay with everyone else. And he said, I just overheard you saying that you were going to Pirates. So I thought that's where I was supposed to go.
Oh, no.
So I lost him, but I didn't realize I lost him until I found him. So I wasn't stressed out. I was really kind of more mad at my husband for not
Keeping track of him.
Yes. Yeah.
Did your husband know that he lost him?
No. There were, I mean, when you have that many kids running around, I guess, when you have all the cousins,
Yeah.
I guess so,
you know,
yeah.
sometimes you take for granted that somebody else is watching.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's very true. Because and that's you'll have you'll think one parent has them and the other parent thinks that you have them, and that happens a lot.
Knowing my husband, he was probably watching 4 kids, just not
your
mine.
4 kids,
Yeah.
not the right 4 kids.
He's watching the nephews, or you know.
Right.
I will say that, you know, as I was raising the kiddos, we had
You're done? Because I'm not done.
No,
Okay.
not done. Never done. Even. But we did have this song, and it said, look for a grandma or mother with children. You know, that Amanda's nodding her head. Did you listen to Safety Kids? That was the album.
But I love it.
Back then, we listened to cassettes, and and so that's kind of what we've told them. You know, look for a grandma or mother with children. That's a good tip.
Mm-hmm.
Also, back in the day when they were younger, there was a melody that we had to memorize their phone number.
That brings me to what I wanted to tell you. So Jackie Cole heard that we were going to talk about this subject, and she messaged me. She said, years ago, I was walking through the Emporium and there was a lost little girl around 8 years old. She was upset and found a cast member. And the first thing the cast member asked her was if she knew her mom or dad's phone number. She didn't. And it was eye-opening to me. The parents and the little girl were reunited, but from that moment forward, I would sing my phone number to my kids so that they could recite it to a trusted adult if they were ever separated in a crowded place. So is that what you did, Torie? You had a song?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now they remember their phone number from where we lived in Loveland, Colorado back in 2003 or whatever. But it's there in their brains now, so good thing it's still there. But yeah, that's what we did. And also, I just have to say, you know, it happens so quickly and so easily.
Yeah.
We can be so hard on these parents who lose track of their kiddos in these situations, and it's not because we're neglectful.
No.
You know, and it just happens so in the blink of an eye. With our little guy Talmadge, who's nonverbal, when we started taking him, we just weren't sure if he was an eloper. Like, he never has ever run, ever, but we just didn't know when we
in that kind of situation. Mm-hmm.
Right. So we actually taped a sign to his back with my name and cell and his, you know. But now he has a little bracelet that he wears all the time, and on the back of it has mine and Joe's cell, his diagnosis, and his allergies.
So nobody gives him a snack while they're waiting for you.
Right. Don't you give him peanuts, people.
Right.
Random stranger. But that's, you know, he's had that since he was, I want to say, like 2.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you, Michael, when we first started going to Disney, and Michael was a runner, he had a leash. And I don't know, parents, it's polarizing. Some people think it's degrading to your child to have, he had a harness that he wore, and I had a lead on it. it gave me some peace of mind because he didn't want to stay in the stroller. Like he had jumped out of the stroller that one time on me at dark right before the fireworks. So, he had a harness, and I see a lot of people, with that. And I know some people think that's degrading. And if you're not in that parent's shoes, you don't know why that kid has a harness on. So,
and it's to keep the kids safe. And so even if it is something that maybe is degrading to the kid, like, you got to choose what's the better option. And keeping a kid safe is a better option.
Yeah. Amanda, did you have one more?
I have one more. So the first two stories, I don't feel that much guilt about because I felt like I couldn't have really changed much to like make those things not happen. You know, this last one, I have guilt.
Okay.
So, and those of you who know Lawrence, he's my youngest, and he's got a very interesting little personality. And this is Lawrence. I'm guessing he was 5 on this trip. It was also with the big family trip, so the nephews were there. My husband and my brother-in-law were taking the kids on Flight of Passage. My niece was too small, and Lawrence was too small. So my sister and I were going to wait with the little ones, and we walk over so that they all go to ride it. And then me, my sister, and my niece go and sit down. And we were sitting chatting for maybe 3-4 minutes before I look over and I see there's a cast member like right at the entrance of Flight of Passage. We're kind of sitting over by the exit. I see a cast member like looking frantically around, and I see Lawrence is with him. I had just forgotten that Lawrence. I always forget that ride has like a higher height requirement, and in my state of mind, I just took for granted that Lawrence went with the brothers and the cousins. But no, he was too small to ride it as well. So,
oh gosh,
yeah, we just walked away and left him there by himself at the entrance to the ride. And when we got reunited, it was not like he did not come up and give me a hug.
Oh,
he came up and hit me and said, "I hate you, Mom."
Oh no.
And that happened for I was in tears at this point, and I'm trying to give him a hug, and he is not all about hugging Mom at this point.
Oh gosh.
He's just wanting me to know how awful I am. So he was very upset, and I tried to distract him very quickly with a slushie, like the little
Pongo one.
Yeah, the something blossom. I don't know. Yes. And that kind of worked. It distracted him for a short period of time, but I want to say the rest of that night he was very angry with me.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Now is Lawrence now the one that says Siva Boo?
Yes.
Sivako, when you ride Flight of Passage, Lawrence was not impressed when he finally did get to ride it.
Yes, that was so on his first ride. At first he was excited, and we were all yelling Sivako, but then eventually he got kind of scared on it. I think it was yelling Siva Poo or Siva Boo.
Now, Dave, Amanda's story sounds similar to the story that you and I have from many, many years ago, back when Lights, Motors, Action was at Hollywood Studios. You remember that story?
Oh, yeah. Very vividly. It was traumatizing.
We are traumatized.
I was traumatized by it. Yeah. I mean, well, we have kids, and they were small. I think they were in strollers at the time too. So we went to the stroller area where there was probably 100 strollers, because this is a big stadium. They had the car show in, and we go walking up and we park our strollers, take our kids out. And I don't know who noticed the kid, but someone noticed a baby, maybe 6 months old to less than a year old, in this stroller. And we're looking around, and there is nobody around. And if you remember, there was like a walkway that you kind of had to walk up to the stadium, a walkway. And I think Toni-Ann or somebody started yelling, "Did somebody leave their kid?" And you see this guy turn around, because he's almost in the stadium, turn around.
He was far.
He was way away, and just the panic on his face and the embarrassment. And he came running down, and we stayed until he, of course, got there. But yeah.
He had just parked the stroller, forgot there happened to be a baby in it.
And like Torie was just saying, if you're a parent, things happen, life, you're busy, work, you stop by the store, you do something. Yeah. I mean, this is going to sound crazy, and I'm almost embarrassed to say it, but one time when my my daughter, my oldest daughter, and I was young, but she was in a bassinet, the what do you call it when you put in a car? I can't remember.
The
car seat. Yeah, thank you. Well, I took it and I was looking for my keys, so I stuck it on top of the car. Just for a second. I'm right there, right? And I'm looking for my keys, I'm a young kid. And then I get in the car and I get ready to start the car, and I'm like, oh, and I get out and I'm like, it just shows you it can happen. And
if a minute later you realized, you would have been on the news.
Right. And I mean, people, it's terrible, but they leave kids in cars and stuff, and people get on them so hard, but I mean,
I'll tell you, when
things can happen.
I was in nursing school, I had just had Dominic. He was very little. I was getting no sleep, and I was in nursing school, and my routine was to drop off Dominic at daycare and then go to school. And one day I got all the way to school, and then I went in the back seat to get my book bag out, and there was Dominic because I forgot to stop at daycare. And if my book bag wasn't in that back seat, I shiver to think what might have happened, because I only noticed him because I went to the back seat to get my book bag. So yeah, it's horrifying, but it could happen to anybody, and people are like, no, not to me. Yeah,
no, I know. When the kids were little, I thought about it. I'm like, okay, I'm in Disney, the big crowds, a lot of people. Okay, we're halfway through the day. Everybody's whining. It's hot. Look, there'll be no more whining. I can't walk anymore. I'm tired. I'm starving. I want a Mickey bar. You know what? Just go take a walk over there. Just go look there's poo over there on the grass.
I think this is the last episode. 302. That's it. We're done.
Look, there's poo on the grass over there. Go see him. Go look. There's poo.
No, but yeah, it's so I think the important things that take away from this is Torie said the phone number song, like Jackie and Torie recommended, to teach your kids to look for a cast member, like Amanda said, or a mom with kids, or a grandma that looks like they would help them if they don't know what a cast member looks like.
Yeah, those are both great ones. And I'm pro leash. When leashes are out,
if you have a kid who's a runner, it might be your best option, unfortunately. And if you have a child that's nonverbal, like Michael when he was little, even now he's hard to understand for most people, and like Torie has, the idea of putting something on them, a bracelet, a tattoo. They have temporary tattoos that you could put your name and phone number on. Put something in their shoe, or like Torie, she just stuck a note on his back, like when you went to kindergarten and you put
that was brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, whatever it takes to keep your kids safe, it's worth it.
Agree.
And Amanda, are we done losing our kids now?
I don't know.
We'll have her back for the fourth one.
Okay.
My older two have watches that have cellular connectivity to it. So I feel good. If I were to lose one of them,
they could call you.
Technology is so far advanced now that
it really is.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Torie, do you have any last bits of advice?
So Torie, you got anything? Any closing words about the subject tonight?
I would say, I think that having kids is a drag. And,
I was just talking about that actually when you were gone.
It's really funny because these two ladies are two of the best moms I know. They're wonderful mothers. Look at, yes, you are.
That's why Torie runs so much, because she's getting ready to run.
Trying to run away.
Run as fast as she can away.
No, it's true. After Charlie was born, I signed up for a half marathon. I hadn't run in months, and I was so depressed about life. But I signed up for this half marathon because I knew that I would be out of the house for at least 4 hours.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that, with taking care of yourself if you have to.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take care of yourself.
yeah, so no, I just don't think that there is anything that we can do to keep it from happening. But
right,
just do what we can to safeguard it when it does.
Right, to prepare the kids to know what to do.
That's right.
Yep. Yeah,
there's
Talmadge.
He doesn't want to be on screen. We just got you listeners at home didn't get to see. We had a view of Mr. Talmadge hunt.
There he is.
Hi, Talmadge. He wants mom back.
Yes.
We're gonna wrap it up, Talmadge. So we're gonna give you your mom back in just a minute. All right, we're just saying bye, Talmadge. Hi, Talmadge.
What's up, Talmadge?
Did he start 7th grade this week, Torie?
Did you start that? Yeah, he totally did. And say Okay, sorry.
Okay.
You can have it.
We got Talmadge's minute. That's awesome.
Talmadge time, Michael's minute.
Talmadge time. That's a good one.
I like that one.
Stop. Talmadge time. Nerd.
He's laughing.
Oh, yes. Your mother has nerdy friends. Amanda, thank you for sharing your stories. You are a wonderful mother despite losing your children 3 times.
And she makes us all feel better about ourselves.
She does.
All right, David.
All right, you guys. Thank you guys so much. We so much appreciate these because, these are some things that people might take note of and
prepare your kids.
Yeah.
You can't really prevent it from happening.
Nope.
I mean, you can keep your eye on your kids, but communicate with your spouse.
That's true.
But sometimes it happens to even the best parents. So prepare your kids for if it does.
That's right.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, you guys. And I guess that's going to do it for this week's Disney Crush podcast. So until next week, say goodbye. Say goodbye, Talmadge.
Goodbye, Talmadge.
Bye.
Right.
He's like, no,
Thanks
come
so
on,
much,
Mom.
guys.
I got to go. She's got to
All
go.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye,
Love you
Torie.
guys.
Love
Thanks.
you. Thank you.
Then that's it. All right.